Greetings, Comrade Captain. Sea Raptor here, bringing you another World of Warships replay, courtesy of our friends over at WoWReplays.com. This is Rono 1997 on the EU server in the German Tier VII heavy cruiser Yorck. We're here on Strait, spawning up in the northeastern corner of the map, with about a half a dozen teammates or so. Speaking of teams, let's have a look. What do we have? Wow, very heavy cruiser game. Only a handful of battleships. A few destroyers. Okay. Alright, well this will be entertaining then. Yorck is a ship that I've been wanting to do a replay on for a while, and I'm not going to kid you guys, this replay is about 3 months old. I've had this one for a while. I've been tied up doing all kinds of other real-life stuff. I have not had the time to sit down and get this done for a while, but I've got a couple of replays I'm going to churn out over the next few days for you, mostly at Tier 7. This is simply the first. Yorck is a very misunderstood ship. She's an excellent ship, but a lot of people don't like her. She's a jarring difference from the Tier 6 Nuremberg, where you've got those sweet, quick-firing 155mm German guns with outstanding AP, good shell velocity, and now suddenly you get Yorck, and you've got these 210mm things, and people struggle with them. It takes some adaptation to get used to this ship. Take some long shots at a Pensacola here. One of the things that I want you to pay attention to while you watch this game, especially in the early going, watch how cagey, and by cagey I mean cautious, watch how cautious Rono is playing this ship. He's 13 kilometers from this Nuremberg. He's backing off. He wants no part of being anywhere close to the 10-kilometer line against any of these enemies this early in a match. This is something that, if you're going to play German cruisers consistently, and I really, honestly, heavy cruisers in general, but if you have a lot of success playing cruisers, you've got to adapt this kind of mentality early on, especially in the higher tiers. The higher you go, the worse it gets. If you close with people too early, you die. So pay attention. You'll notice that it's very late in the match before he pushes within 10 kilometers of anybody. I'll point it out when it happens. So we're taking some long pod shots here, and he's sticking to the HE. Now this is where Yorck starts to really differ from her counterparts in the rest of the German line. Her AP shells are good, but historically they're modeled after an old World War I shell, and the shell velocity on them is terrible. They're very, very useful inside of about 10 kilometers. If you can hit that 10-kilometer range against an enemy cruiser, even against an enemy battleship, you can punish them with your AP rounds. But at these kinds of ranges, 16 kilometers or so, the flight time on your AP shells is 18 seconds or something really obscene. You're going to really, really struggle to land anything at this range. So, at this range, Yorck is going to play like a Japanese cruiser. You're going to sling gobs of HE, and her HE is excellent. As you just saw, we hit that opposing Yorck for 3,700, knocked out his engine with, 3 or 4 shells. So you're going to see a lot of this. And this is how you have to play this ship. I mean, you have to get comfortable and used to using her HE, which is something that, again, the previous 2 ships in the line almost told you not to do. You know, they teach you to get away from the HE. The AP is good. The HE has a low fire chance. It's low damage. And then suddenly, here's Yorck, guys. Now you have to learn a completely new play style for a completely different ship for an entire tier. So he's really spreading his fire around here. See, look at that. He's got 5 hits on this Colorado. That's 5,000 damage. That's pretty respectable. You will not see that out of German HE very often. So he's playing very cagey. We're staying north. We're defending our cap. This is a 2-point domination game on Strait, and with the split spawns, it means that the northern team really can't afford to take too many risks because you're the home team. You're playing defense, and you've got to play fairly conservatively. Make sure you don't get deleted quickly and get capped out in a hurry. Take some shots on this Nevny here. Nope, disappeared. Back on the Colorado. See, he doesn't have any enemy ships really closer than about 15 clicks. That's actually a pretty sweet spot for the Yorck. The arcs, the travel time on these HE shells is quite good. He's kind of hiding behind this New Mexico over here. Probably a good call. That Furutaka is just starting to edge into the range where you'd consider switching to the AP on this ship. He's got the HE out. Oh, somebody else finished him off. So we're up 2 ships now as a team. Things are looking decent. They're low-tier ships. You know, we are top tier in this match, Tier 7. Pensacola, well, that Nevny is within 13 clicks, but he's going to be hard to hit at that range. Swing, swing, come on, get your stern out of the way. There we go. All right, let's get these guns back in the fight here. All right, we lost our first ship, a Cleveland with 2 kills. A couple of torps, but those aren't much threat. Take a glance down south. Not much going on down there. Those guys are out of range anyway. Plenty of targets up here to fool with. Here we go. Here's an Alba. What you're going to notice as we rapidly approach the 6-minute mark of the match is that he's had respectable damage. He's at about the 20,000 damage mark, but it's going to really start to ramp up the later he goes in a match. And this is one of the other reasons I wanted to showcase this match. It shows you the power and the impact that a cruiser can have on a game the longer it stays alive. And that's why you almost have to prioritize living early on above almost anything else. The longer you're going to match, the more impact you're going to have. Some shots on this Alba. See, he's right. You know, you might consider throwing AP at that Pensacola, but the range is kind of garbagey. No, and Pensacola was angling away, so that would be a terrible shot anyway. Takes a little bit of damage here. Nürnberg's throwing HE at him. He throws some HE back. And that's a tiny target. Let's see, can he land these? Oh no, those were at the New Mexico, Colorado in the back. Excuse me. Now the Nürnberg's trying to throw AP at him. Terrible shots. Looks like he's going to stay with his Nürnberg for a bit. So Nürnberg's low. He can focus this guy down. Looks like he's got some help. Looks like the Schoolers is off his port bow there is giving him a little bit of help. He's dropping those just a bit too far to the stern. We're down a ship now. The southern force that spawned in the south is crumbling very quickly now. So we've got to play very, very smart. I probably would have stayed on the Nürnberg here. I mean, he switched back to the Yorck. He does get a couple of fires. That's nice. Let's see if that Yorck puts him out right away. Zoom back in for me. Come on. Yeah, Yorck's got to burn his damage control on that. He can't let 2 burn too long. But I probably would have stayed on this Nürnberg. I mean, this Nürnberg is closer to being dead and is a much softer target. Not to mention being closer. We're 2 ships down now. No, just 1 ship. Okay. Yep, there it was. 1 ship down now. Gets his engine with a nice solid hit. So Nürnberg has decided he wants to get away. He's trying to turn, but his engine's out. Yeah, we led those too far because of the engine loss. Slowing down, don't lead him too bad. A little more damage. He's burning out. He's going to burn out. Surely he's going to burn out. Yeah, he's dead. So we switch back to the Pensacola now with our HE rounds. This Pensacola is zooming in very quickly. This will probably be the first target we get to put AP on here in a moment. Let's see. Good HE salvo. Yep, he swaps to the AP now. Just as the Pensacola comes into about 9.7, 9.6 kilometers. Now he knocked the Pensacola's engine out, so you know he just had to blow his repair. Ordinarily, I'd suggest it's a great time to throw HE, but it's a Pensacola. If you can put a couple of decent AP rounds into him, he'll crumple like a tin can. Yeah, see, look at that. Big Citadel, 9K. I think he's going to throw these torps out here just speculatively. I don't think the Pensacola is going to come in range. They're only 6-kilometer torps. And the Pensacola needs to be throwing AP at this angle. Yeah, no. That ain't going to work out well. There we go. Kill number 1. So here we are at the halfway mark of the match. We've got 50,000 damage, and we just landed our first kill. Now, spoiler alert, he's going to get a lot more kills. We're just getting warmed up. Got the HE loaded. Rounds out on the Nevny. Nevny's pretty low. Can we land enough of them? Bam. Kill number 2. Alright. Now things are getting interesting. We're tied now. It's 4v4. It's us and the schoolers up north versus a Colorado and an enemy Yorck. There's a Myoko and an Alba in the south against a Burioni, and I'm not sure what the Nicholas is doing. I have no idea. We get a battle fire on the Colorado, keep throwing some HE at him. I like that play, but I think the schoolers has got the right idea. He and the schoolers need to focus down this Yorck and get rid of this guy. It's another fire on the Colorado. Outstanding. The Yorck has managed to run himself into the map edge, so we have to lead these shots very strangely now. So this is a bit long for the AP. He's fired the AP at about 11.5 kilometers, but that Yorck being on the map edge is going to slow him down some, which means, some of those shells land home and hit hard. 2 citadels, 12k. And we're closing with the Yorck now, slightly. Still about 11 clicks. Those are going to be short. This is what I mean. The farther out they go, the worse that shell velocity gets. Yeah, he switched back to HE. This is the right call, too. He's closing with him. He could make the AP work, but on 3,500 HP, like, you don't really need to focus on the AP. Just hit the guy with something and get some damage into him. Now, he's got to be wary. He's got a Colorado on his port side, getting closer. But Colorado is probably distracted by that Nicholas, as he should be. This Yorck is also throwing AP at us, which is not a good play. Not at this angle. It's terrible. If those rounds are true, that should get him. Come on. There we go. Kill number 3. So we dump our port side torps at the Colorado. Colorado is continuing to edge into our torpedo range. And now he's turning because the Nicholas has dumped torps at him. Which means, as we come to port, our starboard torpedo launchers come into play. Now the fun begins. He's going to have a very difficult time avoiding these. Colorado can turn, but he's still in that port turn that he was in a minute ago. He could be using AP here. His AP shells against the Colorado's casemate would be doing a tremendous amount of damage. Colorado realizes he's in deep trouble, and yeah, that's all he learned. So, kill number 4. Now, if you notice, there's 2 enemies left on the map. And there's still 3 of us, so we have a small numerical advantage. In the south, the Burioni lost his duel with the Myoko, so all our allies are up here north with us against this lonely Alba. Now we've got the AP loaded. This is right in the sweet spot where that AP starts to become useful. Bam. Forward citadel on the magazine. Very, very nice. He keeps the AP loaded, but this Alba is smart and is getting out of dodge. So he's going to have to switch back to the HE, which he's already done. Now the Alba more than likely has launched his torpedoes. We've got to keep an eye out for those. We know they're coming. Yep, there they are. Our spotter plane catches them. So now those can be easily avoided as we start the HE barrage. One of the things you may have noticed, if you've played a lot of Nuremberg handles very well. She's a light cruiser. You expect Yorck to handle like a heavy cruiser. That sluggish rudder, that long turn time, and you start to get some of that with Hipper. But Yorck retains some of Nuremberg's handling characteristics. She can dance. Maybe not like Pensacola, but she can definitely dance a lot better than the higher tier German cruisers. Her maneuverability and her handling characteristics are one of the things that I think a lot of people underestimate when they play this ship. And that's a shame, because it's definitely one of her biggest strengths. Our catapult fighter picks up more torps coming in, so again, we can avoid those very, very easily. So at this point, it seems like our best chance to cap. I mean, we have to follow this Alba south to kill him anyway. He's on fire. There are cap circles in this direction. We have no idea where the Myoko is. If the Myoko's smart, from his last map position, he's charging our cap circle. But we'll just have to see what happens. As a team, we're fairly well banged up. I mean, that Nicholas has got 700-800 hit points. We're at about 20% health or so. I'm not sure about the schoolers, but we'll just have to see. The Alba managed to put the fire out. He's got 240 hit points left. Oh, this will be entertaining. So again, like I was saying earlier, look how much impact playing KG and surviving to the in-game you can have in a German cruiser, in a heavy cruiser of any kind. Honestly, you've got the damage output to have a major impact this late in the game, as long as you don't get deleted early on. So we come through the gap here. The Nicholas is in the lead. Schoolers is kind of hanging back. Probably a good play for him. Our armor's a little better. We're more likely to hold up to a little bit of fire. I don't know what his health is, but... Throwing some AP at this angle. Is the Nicholas going to get him? Nope. Nope, we bag him. Couple AP shells. Uh-oh. Oh! His final salvo kills the Nicholas. Kill number 5. Kraken unleashed. And we already picked up high caliber. So, an excellent game. Excellent game. 102,000 damage so far. So we don't know where the Miyoko is, but let's go ahead and get on into the cap circle, because why not? I mean, let's get that done. Wait, we're detected. The Miyoko has come back for us. And he's on about 20% HP. This may not end up being a good play for him. He blows his first salvo. Our AP dings him a little bit because he was angling. We've still got AP loaded. Throw some shells out there. These are probably not going to do very much. Yeah, he's going to turn it even farther. We bounce a couple off his mast. Switch to the HE. But not before we dump our starboard torpedoes in his way as he continues his turn to port. So with the HE loaded, what we're looking for here, of course, is just any kind of hit. Maybe we can get a fire lit. That'd be pretty sweet. As we turn back to starboard, keep our bow on this guy. More HE. A little bit of damage, not a much. Looks like he's loading the AP this time. Take a hit from the Miyoko's secondaries. And we laugh off all the Miyoko's AP damage on the bow. Some AP into his bow. There's a Confederate. And we finish him off for kill number 6. So well done, Rono. That was an excellent game. Thank you for sharing that. An excellent game in Yorck. About 121,000 damage. And Kraken, a Confederate, and a high caliber. Looks like about 2,400 base XP. Easily the best on either team. A good damage spread here. About 35k in armor piercing. Quite a lot of HE damage, as you would expect. Not much fire damage. That's a bit surprising. I've had some games in Yorck where I've racked up 40,000 fire damage out of those HE shells. Again, rather surprising out of a German ship. So thanks again, Rono, for sharing that one for us. I've got at least one more Yorck video coming very shortly. And then we'll probably get into something unexpected for you guys that are used to me doing German cruiser videos, but I'll explain why when we do it. I've still got plans to get the whole line done, but unfortunately, obviously, as you guys have obviously guessed by now, those plans have continued to shift to the right on the calendar. But that's still coming. Anyways, I'll catch you guys next time.